As the end of PTE draws near, we are finally approaching or being updated with a patch that is actually surprisingly good, I guess. Well, at least that's how I think so, because buckle up everybody. Today you're here with Corn and we're gonna be talking about the patch notes once again, hopefully the last time because I really want this stuff to get pushed to live as soon as possible. Um, well, at least some of it, not everything, but still, for those of you who still do care or like at least pay attention to what's going on in the PT, I have great news for you today. To start everything off, the first thing that everyone was probably most concerned with was the burst interval between SAM sites. Like the medium SAMs are now a second shorter. I mean, shoot 1 second shorter. And then for the like heavy SAMs, they basically fire 2 seconds. Shorter in between each shot. So if you need a comparison, this is what happens on live basically. I think you should be able to see it. Oop, not yet. There we go. Okay. So as you can see here, this is basically what is happening here. My iris managed to block the first shot. Well, it should have been able to block the second shot. But I got desynced here, so it's kind of unlucky. But as you can see on live, it's actually the interval happens to be 2 to 3 seconds. So at least that's a good reference, I suppose. But anyways, that will be, looks like a good buff. Seems like Seed will be able to be easily intercepted, or at least on paper should be intercepted. If you live in Europe or like a place that are closer to the servers, and like me who lives in Asia, then yeah, good news for you, I suppose. So that's not too bad. Second part is that the air flares for everything is basically halved. I think this is also a great change. Maybe I think it's a change where it does benefit the like whoever's actually loitering, or actually less, I would suppose, because normally when you have a missile firing at you, especially the longer ranged ones, which we'll talk about later, they normally pop 5 flares or maybe 6. So to reach like basically the maximum amount of ECM, or like to basically your highest chance of evading the missile. So um, I mean, you could be really lucky and dice roll 5 times for none of these 9 kilometer missiles to hit you. That could happen, but on the other hand, I think at least there is now a limit to this, so you cannot just spam flares. I still think 25 is a bit too much, but at least it's not as like crazy as 50 anymore. But 25 is still enough for a plane to basically, or like any ASF or any bomber, to be constantly flaring without any without any concern of like, oh, I have no flares anymore. That is actually happens to be at least something that's kind of been problematic for a while. And the next thing is that now cooldown for most payloads, well, not just that that have been adjusted. I think it's the ASF, which we'll talk about right now. Let me just, there we go. Okay, so let's just do a quick comparison of the with the Su-35. This is an iconic fighter, I would believe. I think so, at least. And let's just give it a full air-to-air loadout. So like this. 12 R77s, 20% ECM. This is a classic combination on the PTE. So as you can see here, the death timer on the PTE now is basically doubled, and well, the return to deck time is also increased for the 7 kilometer air fighters. But if you happen to use any kind of R37s or like those 9 kilometers, I think I should talk about this first real quick. But as you can see, not only are the if you look down here a little bit, I'm not sure if when I circled when I select this, if you see it, actually you don't. So let me just use my painter instead. Sorry. These acceleration and maximum speed have been increased. This is actually really crazy, and I'm gonna just show you their effectiveness in a bit. Okay, we'll come back to this later, but we're gonna talk about the cooldowns first. All right, so just give me a second. Sorry, it's kind of messy here for me, at least. There we go. Okay, so if you happen to use any kind of R37 loadout, like R77, another 2 of these, yeah, like this. Okay, yeah, sure, this is actually quite an expensive plane. We could make it cheaper, but what I'm trying to say is that, as you can see here, no matter how juiced up this Su-35 is, the return to deck time is actually much closer to that of the to that when you run 7 kilometers. So initially before, it used to be like almost double the amount of downtime compared to the like it used to be like a bit more than 3 minutes for the 7 kilometers and like almost 5-6 minutes for the 9 kilometers. So you'd always prefer to run the 7 kilometers because not only are they slower, but and also, you know, they take longer to respawn. So you never run these. But now, because it basically not only is the return to deck time like much closer between the two, they also got buffed significantly, which I will show you their effectiveness. Actually, I should probably just do it right now. So since like I mentioned it twice already, so let me just quickly zoom to the part 3 minutes, and okay, here. So you can see my SC35. Well, okay, this is probably not the best demonstration here, but the feat about these the 9 kilometers is that, as you can see, they're basically flying. Like, you can't really tell which one's a 7 kilometer and which one's a 9 kilometer. They both fly equally fast, and the only difference is that you get to shoot the 9 kilometers sooner and then the 7 kilometers later. But at the end of the day, if you have 4 each, or maybe even 6 on your R77s, then they're actually just going to be firing just as fast because of the the missile rule. But it's if I explain this is going to be too much. But as you can see, that was a 9 kilometer missile that almost, oh, could you look at the speed? It's crazy. Like, the range of speed, it's absolutely nuts. And when you refund it, you still get basically half of the price back after, even though you deplete all your missiles. You should jump to another part, I think. Okay, 16 minutes and 35. Right here. Okay, so I have an SC35 once again. There happens to be a F-35A, as you can see right here. Did I right-click it earlier? Okay, right here. So I was 7 kilometers. I was actually more than 8 kilometers away. Okay, right here, maybe. Okay, I was 8 kilometers away, like here. So as you can see, the idea here is that I'm already firing my first missile, right? And then the best part about R77s is if you have 4, you actually fire 2 of them, even though you're chasing this guy. And then I finally get to fire my 7 kilometer missile. So on live, not only, not on live, before this patch, not only was I able to fire, not only am I forced to be closer to the front line, I'm also getting fired by my opponent's F-35 as he drops in because he also has a 2nd kilometer. So like, it's kind of like, I mean, I'm always putting myself at risk just to be able to engage them sometimes, but now that the 9 kilometers are so powerful, I can, not only can I stay safe using this, I also fire 3 missiles. I mean, I fire 2 9 kilometers before I even get to fire my first 7 kilometers. So this is extremely powerful, I would say, and on an airframe which has 20% ECM and just 900 speed, agility, that kind of stuff, and an airframe like the SC-35, it's just busted. I can only tell you that. And that's why I think the VDD is going to be once again meta. So I'll just hide this for now. We'll come back to this later. I think it's now time that we talk about the other. Oh wait, I actually do happen to circle this, but anyways. The other loadouts that are not just, you know, it's not just the JADAMs or the 9 kilometers. I think, oh, where? Okay, here. So, this aside, something that people have probably found quite cancerous is the these big bomba planes with like the Tu-22 to Tu-160. Basically, what you do is you just equip these smart bombs. You click 8 times for the Tu-160, it's 14 times, and then you just bomb your opponent's entire front line and back line included. And then like their respawn time used to be like 20 minutes, so it was like just do it once every like 1 or 2 phases, and then like just obliterate your opponent's defenses. It's absolute cancer. So it's kind of good that, like, you know, at least they're kind of doubling it, so to make sure that even though, like, yeah, sure, on paper they are quite destructive, but on the other hand, as you can see, like, it's gonna happen less often. This was before the patch, so I mean, like, there's literally no difference. It's like, okay, he still gets the bombs off, everything. It's everything dead on my front line. I got pushed, and then eventually after this game, I mean like about like 2 minutes later, I was pushed to the other side of the road. Can I pause this? I cannot pause this. Okay, so yeah, so the thing here is that even though these things can still happen, actually I think I just had a clip where is this? Let me see. Was this the 12-minute one? Okay, I think it is this one. Okay, so as you can see, maybe they had the Viper loitering in the back, which had which had bombs, like the 2,000-pound ones. And then eventually, what happened here is that I think, oh no, I think he already bombed my stuff. My bad. Okay, there we go. As you can see, even though he does lose his Viper, which has like maybe 4 bombs, 2 or 4 bombs, and if you just put this down here. Okay, so let's just take a quick comparison of the Viper, maybe like 2 JDAMs, I suppose. I don't really know how much that guy costs. Maybe like this, maybe, and then along with the book 2 or the book 3, this would be. So yeah, as you can see here, the cooldown timer of my book is basically half of my Vipers. So honestly, yeah, like I can always, like, even though he's bombing my air defenses, as long as I kill the plane, it's always worth it for me because, I mean, sure, you killed my book, so I have a bit of, I mean, I need to call a new one, but at the end of the day, like, you only get 2 Vipers, and I can always have at least, I mean, like, I at most have 2 air defenses, so he's gonna have to be dumping a lot more planes just to kill all my air defenses than I have. I don't know how to explain this, but you get the idea. All right, fantastic. So next part is that, well, at least I guess that explains the 2 times like ×2 multiplier for death timers now. So that's also a pretty good change for dealing with air spammers, filthy air spammers, that is. It also makes keeping your planes alive a bit more rewarding. Like maybe we'll see a revival of the F-35, or maybe like planes going in along with seed missiles. Both would be viable, I would say. So I think that should be good enough for like explaining all this above, but I think now it's time that we focus a bit more on the 9-kilometer missiles. As you could see earlier, these are fairly potent. I think there's one more clip. I think this is around 16 minutes 35. All right, so the idea that the Su-30 or like the 9 kilometers are super good, especially on the Su-35. I think the Su-35 is by far the best 9 kilometer. Oh, wait, I think I literally just played this. My bad. Okay, sorry. The last one is around here. Okay, so it's my Su-20 M2. As you can see here, I fired both. Okay, let me just pull this back. Okay, so like you can basically have your fighters loitering in the back. You don't even need to micro them, and then they will automatically fire because of how easy it is for the 9 kilometers to even hit something. So like boom, bam, literally dead. Like I basically didn't even do anything besides like right click that plane once and he's already dead. So I think 9 kilometers not only have, okay, he bombed my book again, but like the plane died, so you know what, I'll just call the book again. Basically just proves my point, I guess. Well, I don't really think I had a point there, but you get what I mean. Anyways, so like that's why I think that the 9 kilometers might be a bit too strong now, and basically if you don't play VDV, you're trolling, and but regardless, okay, I think the current AA system, besides the fact that 9 kilometers are a bit busted, air spam should be be occurring less often. As you can, actually I have something great to show you guys, real quick. This is, happens to be for those filthy nuke spammers. I hate nukes personally, but as you can see, if your nuke doesn't make it back home, then they actually happen to have a 50-minute cooldown, so only 1 nuke per match. And for the VDV, it's a bit different. As you can see here, I mean, like, it should make it back to base, so you should get 2 nukes per game. So, like, there's a bit of a difference here, but to me, I think the B2 nuke always gets off, or at least 90% of the time, so compared to the T-160, yeah, you should only be able to get one nuke off per game. I mean, that makes sense to me. So, for the nuke spammers, haha, joke's on you. But yeah, like, I think that the current, like, dynamic is that it's much, it feels a lot more like live where it's much more lethal, just rather than the, like, you know, air defense one-tapping planes, it's actually just the fighters with the 9 kilometers just slapping everyone left and right. I think it's a bit overtuned because their cooldown is like pretty quick compared to the 7 kilometers, and they still fire pretty quickly because I mean this is only for the R37 and the gunslinger, so this is like the F-18. I'm not gonna. Probably shouldn't be drawing. I'll just pull it out for you. So this is a feat that can only be achieved with the Hornet and the. My bad. Okay, so the Hornet and the Su-35 and the Su-57, and I don't think the SM has 4 missiles, so we'll just use this as a comparison. So basically what I'm trying to say is that there is a hidden rule for like for the Raptor, which even if you put 4 JATMs on it, it would only fire one, like, and then you have to wait for this missile to miss or hit, and then you fire the next one. But for the but for like the AIM 174s and the Su-35s, they do not like did this. They can basically fire 2 every 3 to 4 seconds. Like you fire one, you wait 3 seconds, and you fire the next one. So that's why I think like at the end of the day you would prefer to run. I mean, sure, the Raptor gets stealth, so maybe this is like just something to hold it back from like going absolutely nuts. But um, like I think the Su-35 is just so good as an ASF. And then, but yeah, I guess speaking of things kind of feeling a bit more like the air lethality on live, I think it's time that we also talk about something that is actually now performing much closer to that on live, and it's going to be the SSO, which previously I know everyone thinks SSOs are busted. I mean, sure, why not? Why aren't they busted? Let me just quickly show you a couple clips of SSO just absolutely obliterating my opponent here. So as you can see, this SSO is just going to face check 2 Ranger squads, single standoff, not TQC, but due to how quickly they are firing, this is just not making any sense. I'm not sure if my clips are a bit too loud for you guys, but yeah, as you can see, that guy basically 1v2'd inside of the building because of how fast they shot, and it's kind of, as you can see here, I'm even breaching some Rangers. So like they basically made quick work of them. I think the reason to why they're so good is just simply because they have 4 launchers, and like if you remember correctly, if you do remember Maw's team, like Maw teams on like SOF, that specialization, they fire their like the Carl Gustavs off fairly quickly, but now just consider that, okay, now you have 4 launchers, so they're definitely going to shoot even faster. So yeah, I mean, sure, I guess it makes a lot of sense that they're now nerfed. But still, you could beat them. You could beat them previously, and I don't really think it's that much of a big deal. You just bring a lot of shotguns, and then you just face check them in a forest, right here. So as you can see, I have 2 SUVs. These guys have 2 shotguns each squad. I just basically focus fire the SSO, and then the guy didn't, like, he got panicked before he can even fire off his 3rd shot. So, yeah, like you could just deal with them fairly quickly. But I think now people are a bit more concerned with how they perform at the moment. So, oh, I think I forgot to mention that. Sorry, give me a sec. Forgot to mention that not only did SSO kind of get a nerf, but also did the Ranger CQCs. Well, at least I think it's a nerf, which basically instead of 6 laws, they now have Maws, which it's not the anti-tank one actually. It's simply the it's an HE warhead. So you might think, okay, is this trolling? Like, why do you give them a reloadable RPG when in CQC it's actually the disposables that are so valuable? Which, do I say I don't really think so? Well, okay, well, it's kind of like goes both ways, but when it comes to burst damage, as long as your CQC infantry are not under fire, the disposable ones will always be more effective, but if you're under pressure, the reloadable ones are actually better in some scenarios, or at least, yeah, and under pressure. So, I mean, I'm not going to spend too much time explaining this, but as you can see in these clips, this is against Rangers, or the new Rangers. I also had them fight some combat engineers in the meantime. So the current idea is that the SSO should be able to beat the Rangers because of how they reload this one. I think. Wait, they actually lost. What the hell? Okay, that's a bit awkward, but they should win 9 out of 10 times. But against the actual more dedicated CQC infantry, like, okay, well, we're not there yet, but against the Baltic Battalion infantry, they actually happen to, win still. This is not only against SSOF, like they win, as you can see here, but also against Salukai, so it's pretty good. Like against Salukai as well, they do beat them. I'm sorry, I'm speaking through this because I feel like if I just played it out for you, you would think that I'm just farming you for like ad revenue or something, which I really don't. But but anyways, against like actually good CQC infantry like Deltas, Marine Raiders, like this is just Deltas, right? They're not even breaching, but you've always known that Deltas kind of slap people around, and it's true. Even before the SSOs got nerfed, when they still had 4 launches, Deltas would still win. Deltas would still win most of the time, unless like you're running Deltas across an open field into the embrace of like the their thermobaric launchers. Then yeah, sure. But yeah, I do think that now SSOs are, you know, like they're still like price-wise. I definitely think that, like, because they can beat, like, the Baltic SF, they can beat Ranger CQC, that also costs 90 points. But when you compare them to, like, where is it? Delta Forces or Marine Raiders, it's a different story. So, to me, I think it's actually the larger squad CQC that kind of need to like get tuned here or there, maybe a bit more expensive, or maybe make these infantry a bit cheaper. But at least I think now they're in a bit of a more reasonable spot. At least that's how I think it is. So I think that's it for the SSO and Rangers conversation. One more thing, I guess we'll talk about Rangers. Might as well. They did change their MGs, but if you look at it like, yo, it's so cool, man. Like they get CAC AMGs instead of the what's the other thing called? M249 Para. I think this is found on RSC as well. No. I'm trolling. I don't remember where they used to be. Dang it. Okay, but oh yeah, sorry guys, I actually don't remember. Were they maybe something comparable to this? No, it's not even that comparable. It actually deals less damage, but it does have more penetration, which is something that I was going to point out anyways, but um okay, well, let's just use I actually don't have a screenshot for this. I'm so sorry guys. But as you can see here, let's like the good thing about the CAC AMG is that the penetration is much better than that of the or the MG itself. I think I could use, I don't know what else to use it for comparison. Maybe like this medium machine gun. Yeah, 1020. So like as you can, it's like not that much more penetration, but initial penetration is a little bit better. So maybe you'll deal a little bit more damage. I don't know if they had a damage increase when it comes to DPS, but I think this change is just kind of cool, I guess, and along with the fact that you can't really fire these on the move. I think previously Rangers could fire their machine guns on the move, which Uh, you know, I guess it's kind of a nerf in some way and also kind of a buff because I mean, like, not really a buff, but it's a bit more situational. If you want to utilize your ranger's uh, damage or like DPS on against infantry, it's best that you hold them like you let them stand still and not fire on the move. So at least that's dang it. Okay, well I forgot to show you this. Sorry guys, my bad. What am I doing? But like as you can see here, bit more pen. So yeah, you cannot really fire them on the move, which I remember, if I remember correctly, the machine guns on Rangers previously you could. So to me, I think this is a nerf because I always love to move my Rangers around. But they do excel at dealing with infantry inside of buildings. So either way, like if you put them in a building, they survive longer as well. So that's cool. That's cool. But the last thing, I think one of the last two things is that the Vidavida has now received one of the biggest buffs known to mankind, and it's just gonna be I'll just show you all the loadouts, but personally, I mean, first we have like the PKP. This is the default one. It's basically the same as the VDV Metis, as you can see here, except they still get to keep their iconic RPG 7B, which on the Vidavida, this is the old version. You get 2 launches here, you get 1 launcher here, but you do get some bit more machine, like one more machine gun, which it's basically the same copy here. So I don't really recommend this one. You might as well just run Desaniki at this point, because like these two are basically the same. Just like a bit more beefier in 1 launcher still. So the real juice is actually in the Sturm, which if you look at this, ooh, thermobaric you say, but like dude, this is crazy, man. Like this deals as much damage as a engineer Sturmoviki thermobaric weapon. It's basically the same thing, and not only that, the AT warhead is also just as good as the Razvedka. So this is basically a combination of the Razvedka and the engineer Sturmoviki thermobaric. The only thing is that I mean, like I guess you only get 1 launcher, which is fair. I mean, it's definitely fair. I think this is going to be the best mainline infantry squad in the game by far. Uh, should I say no cap for this? But I don't know. Like I definitely think that this is going to be a really good squad, and I'll just show you in my most recent match. Once again, where is it? 1451. Okay, so somewhere around here. Um, here, my my T90 happened to bump into some infantry, so I ended up sending my bit of a Sturm into the fray. As you can see, they're just clearing out the. I mean, like okay, fine, I guess. Like, I did kind of soften them up with the T90, but to think that these guys can actually just be reliably beating, like even CQC infantry themselves with a bit of combined arms, it's absolutely crazy. Just for their price, I think 2 squads for 120. They're along with something else. Like this is the squad, man. Like along with the fact that you can actually bring 6 of them compared to like any other squad. So in combined arms, as long as you know what you're doing and like you pair the Vidovish Sturm with something else to compensate for their lack of range and like suppression and long range. Like for example, you can use the well, you can actually use a proper PKP, maybe a cord, which I actually happen to be using in that game as well, or maybe the Desaniki, but we'll talk about that later. But I do think the Vidovish Sturm is like, dude, it's so good. You guys should try it. And no other mainline infantry squad in the game is capable of having both anti-tank and anti-infantry. And that is why, dude, like, just please try this out. You should try this out. But enough of me trying to glaze the squad, because we're going to be talking about the last change of the day, or the patch. And it's going to be the Desaniki. Basically, they gave it new loadout, the Desaniki 90. I think this is a Warno reference or something. I personally, I do not play Warno that much, so I'm pretty clueless when it comes to this. But basically what they changed was now... Oh, let me just give you a comparison, I guess. So they now have a new RPG 29, which is actually surprisingly good if you compare it to the one that Desanikis used to have. If for reference, this is the one you can find on the Vampire, along with the you also have this. This is the only squad that has this on live, along with the Churning Bereti standoff on PTE, just for a much cheaper price. And also like squad size wise, it's basically the same, but for like long range, for like when it comes to standoff range, yes, they're definitely lacking in firepower, but when it comes to AT, this is basically the same thing as an airborne NGSW, which, yes, they have less range, like, you know, as you can see here, the airborne NGSW basically slap these guys when it comes to and like longer engagements, but I'm pretty sure at closer engagements, the Desaniki should win. Should they? No, they shouldn't win still. Maybe like one more dude isn't going to change the fact that they have 2 grenade launchers, but to me, the fact that they're cheaper and they have basically the same thing, like the same rocket launcher, it's really good. And I think that's this has given them a better purpose because you can now pair this Aniki with the Vedeve Sturm inside of the BTR MDM, the Rakushka variant. So yeah, definitely something that you can pair these together and you have like 2 AT rocket launch. But yeah, like it's good. It's very good. You guys should try this. So yeah, I think that's about it for today's video. I'll just play this while I keep yapping a little bit longer. But anyways, guys, thank you very much for watching today's video of Corn trying to explain the patch notes. And I hope I gave you enough context of what exactly is going on here, because I really have been slacking off when it comes to making videos. I've had a lot of ideas, so I've just been making this video for a little bit and then that video for a little bit, but yeah, generally I would say I'm trying to work on it, but eventually we'll get some guides going and everything else like that. So yeah, once again, thank you all for watching until the very end, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day along with the channel supporters, and then I will probably see you guys very very soon, hopefully in 3 days, because that's when I usually upload. And if you have any questions or like things that you would like to talk to me about, please feel free to come to my Discord or just find me, you know, find me, ask people where you can find me. I'm also on Reddit sometimes, so yeah, if you have any questions or things you want to share with me, do feel free. So yeah, kind of a longer video, but yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care. Bye bye.